What's up, guys? Shockwave640 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the high-grade Build Fighters Denial Gundam. And this was the one that won the voting the other day. So, taking a look at the instructions, as we usually do with these Gundam reviews, you can see it is the Denial Gundam from Team Titan. It is Junya Inose's Gundam. There is the pilot right there. He is one of the main antagonists of the show. And there is the Denial Gundam itself. And there's a brief bio and the specs there up at the top. So you can see how much it weighs and its height and model type and all of that. It's a pretty straightforward build. Nothing really too complex. You can see a few of the things it does and what it was based off of, the Tri-Burning Gundam. Some scenes from the anime, stuff like that. It's all just typical Gundam information. Some tips on how to paint and customize it, and some cross sales of some other kits, and some more pictures of what it can do. Drop some stuff. 1 second. Okay. So we're gonna set the Denial off to the side over here and take a look at the box, which is awesome. I love this thing's box. You can see the Denial Gundam there doing a pose, as canonically this can do all of the exact same moves plus way more than the Build Burning or Tri-Burning Gundam ever could. If you want to know why or how, watch this show, Gundam Build Fighters Try, and you would learn. You can see it doing some jig and how kung fu kicks and stuff like that, and you can see more of the information right there. It is 1:144 scale, 2015. Coming to the side, some more stuff that it can do martial arts wise. You can see there is the Tri-Burning Gundam and the Denial Gundam right there. Some stuff that it does include. You can see some more stuff. This is number 37 in the line, of course, by Bandai. There's the front view and rear view of the mobile suit. There is a picture, very photoshopped picture of the model kit battling the Tri-Burning Gundam. There's a brief bio of the television show. You can see the Build Burning Gundam with the Lightning Gundam and the Winning Gundam and their pilots, accordingly to color coding, obviously. 1,800 yen's, about $18, $19. So, pretty good price for a pretty large mobile suit. This is definitely not a small Gundam by any means. So we're going to bring the camera down just a little bit. You can see I am off-centered here from the crack between my two tables. That's because my size comparison's over there. One of them is quite big and he's taking up a lot of the room, and you can kind of see his shadow right over there. So I don't want to mess that up and have to deal with all that. So actually what we're going to do before we get further into the review, I'm actually going to do the voting right now, because I remembered I like to do the voting in the beginning of the videos, and I didn't realize that until just now. So just real quick, as always, for voting, you're going to see what is in the next review. There's going to be an eye right up there in the top corner of the screen, and you can choose one of the figures. I'm going to name them off, and they will be reviewed next time. So first up, we have the Funko Nightmare Bonnie action figure. We have Titan's Return Gnaw, who I got for Christmas, and this thing is awesome. And we have a Lego Mock, which I haven't done one of these in quite a while. He is way too big. There we go. We have, can't even see Gnaw anymore. Here, let's get Gnaw back there. Let's get Bonnie back over here. So here we have the voting for the next review. So we have Nightmare Bonnie, the Funko action figures, Nightmare Bonnie. We have Titan's Return Legends Gnaw, and Toxor. He's my own mock. It's like an amalgamation poison beast of some kind. I built him a while back, and I just figured I'd want to give him a review because he's a pretty cool guy. But so whatever one you want to see, there's there on the top. So we have Toxor, Gnaw, and Nightmare Bonnie, and they will be reviewed as soon as I get the chance. I'm gonna put Toxor off because his shadow is making this way more difficult because he's quite large, if you couldn't tell. But now I can rearrange this, bring the camera back down. Yeah, I know, I haven't edited any of that stuff out before, and I probably never will, because I'm lazy. But anyways, so here is the Denial Gundam itself. We're going to go ahead and do the size comparisons to get them out of the way. See if we can get them to stand up properly. So for the first size comparison, here we have him with just a deluxe class Chrome Dome from Titan's Return. So you can see he is taller than Chrome Dome. Good head and a half taller than Chrome Dome. Just because, why not? Here's Baby Peach from Mario Kart. From my favorite character in Mario Kart. This thing was really hard to find. I found this on eBay the other day, and it was a 3-pack. It was like $15. It came with her, Baby Mario, and Toad, and they're all in the exact same vehicle. But it's like a little pullback car. Doesn't really work. It worked a little bit, but it's a pretty cool little thing. I like to have it on the shelf. And of course the Kamiki Burning Gundam. I don't know why I didn't grab the Tri-Burning Gundam. That would have made way more sense. But it's the Burning Gundam either way, so you can see how they look. And he's still way taller than the Kamiki Burning Gundam. I guess this is a very large mobile suit, and believe it or not, these two, let me bring them back in, the Kamiki Burning, these two share a lot of the same parts. They share joints, they share hands, and they share just the same inner skeleton for their body and for their legs and arms. So everything they share is very similar, it's just different armor and different heads and stuff like that make them different. Which is kind of crazy because he's way taller, and that's just because the thighs and the shins are way longer than this guy, and his body's also way bigger. Despite them sharing most of the same pieces. The extra pieces, considering they do share the same pieces, he does have a few little extra parts that come from both the Build Burning and Tri-Burning Gundam. You can see the neck joint from the other guys. Some vent pieces that were from the Build Burning, which Kamiki Burning had. No, the Tri-Burning had as well. A little cufflink thing for the shoulder. There was supposed to be 2 of them, but I don't know what happened to the other one. The waist section where the legs would plug onto, and a little polycap that held on the side skirts. Other than that, we're going to get in and take a look at the details. So you can see here, he is always constantly going to be in full burst mode, which is what these sparkly purplish pink plastic parts are on his knees, his shoulders there, back of his head, but that's for something else, and his elbows. You can't make him to where he's not in full burst mode. That is impossible. If you wanted him to, you'd have to paint these gray. They'd have to be a translucent gray or translucent black in order to make that happen. You could have easily done it. It was just one small little runner that came with those like 4-6 pieces. They could have easily done it, just made that in dark gray or made that in black, or they could have just used this color right here. This would have been a pretty good color for it. I would have rather had it in translucent black, but they didn't. For whatever reason, they did not include that. So he's constantly in full burst mode, so that's just how you have to display him. Unless you want to paint those, then you can do that. But coming in close to look at the head, it's a really, really cool looking head. You can see he's got like this off-white plastic here on the vents on the chest and the cockpit hatch, what would be the cockpit hatch, the V-fin there, and I believe he had some more, because I think it's just stickers. They're supposed to mimic that same color on the ankles and on the arm guards. Sticker-wise, also, he only has the forehead camera in there. He has the eyes, nothing on the back of the head because this part plugs in would cover it anyways. Then he has the white there, these vents right here on the sides of his legs, little white there, and the little gray right there. Those, and then these little black vents there on the thighs. That was it for the stickers. It's just not bad at all. They're just tiny. That's pretty much it. A lot of people complain about these stickers right here, but I have never had a problem with them peeling up. As you can see, they are staying perfectly down, perfectly fine. I guess you just have to push them in there and make sure that they are flat and go into all the grooves, or you just paint it. But I'm lazy and don't want to paint. But so again, coming in looking in at the details of the head, it's very similar head to the Burning Gundam, of course, because this is based off the Burning Gundam, canonically and model kit wise. But I think it looks really, really cool. Very evil looking, which is the intent. Coming to the shoulders. Oh, so I love this color plastic right here. This lighter blue color, which is only on the body. You'd think it would be weird, but it's really actually really, really cool. He's got this gray plastic with a very slight purple tint, and then navy blue, which also has a purple tint to it. So he kind of all looks like he's really, really purple from far away, but he's really just gray and dark blue. That's pretty much it. So you can see going on here. Oh, also these little things right here are stickers. You can see these are kind of peeling up just because they rub around on things a lot. That's just due to their design. You can see there the arm, which I think that looks really, really cool. I love the arm design on this guy, and the shoulders, they look really cool. Coming down to the body, he's really, really thin on the body. I kind of wished he was a little bit more bulked out, or the body was stretched out a little bit more, because it's just so thin looking. I mean, it looks like it would not take much to be able to kill this dude. And I think it's just because the hip armor makes him look really bulky in the thighs, makes him look really, really bulky in that one section, and then it goes back down to being relatively skinny. Still really bulky compared to the arms, but it doesn't look like his legs belong to his upper body, other than the color matching. If the colors were something different, I feel like it would look super weird. But so we can come down here to the legs. You can see the knees going on right here, which look super cool. And he's got super, super tiny little feet, which is very, very problematic in terms of getting him to stand. He is just as posable as the previous incarnations of the Burning Gundam. The only difference is his ankles are way more limited. I did modify mine, so mine have super, super deep ankle tilts. Originally, they were basically like, if you imagined this was the front of his leg right here, he would only have about that much, no, about this much right here, that much ankle tilt. I modified it to where instead of having that, he has this full on ankle tilt right there. So you can basically see how that works. Very, very deep ankle tilts on him now. He's still harder to pose and harder to get to stand just because he's got super, super tiny little feet. I guess if you really wanted to, you could probably get the Burning Gundam's feet and just paint them to match this guy's color scheme and then stick them on, because it's Gundam. They're all compatible with each other, except for the extremely older kits. They're probably the least compatible, but everything from Build Fighters is 100% compatible, as long as the pieces fit together and there's clearance for it, which I believe there's probably clearance down there. Wouldn't be accurate to the way he looks, but it would definitely make him stand a hell of a lot better. But so going into the articulation, he's got quite a bit, of course. The head is a bit weird just because it doesn't move up and down in the actual ball joint. It moves up and down on this gray section right there. You can see moving right below his head, right under his neck. So you can look up. He can look down if you use that ball joint. You look a little bit more down, and he can turn his head. There is no tilting, and that's just because the way that piece is, it sticks a little peg up to where it locks his head in place, just because he's got to constantly have weight there on the back of the head, unless you don't plan on using the hair. Because that would make the head very loose, and he would constantly want to be looking up. So it's a very smart decision there. Very nice tight hinge as well. They improved the arm design from the previous two, because if you noticed, or if you've seen any of the other two Burning Gundams, their arms constantly pop out. That's just because the ball joint on the shoulder wasn't long enough, and you can see on this guy, very long ball joint, and it goes into a plastic joint, which his waist is falling apart. And you can already see on mine is so strong, it's actually stressing the little plastic coupling right there, because it's not a polycap, it's plastic. I wish it was a polycap. It'd make it a little bit more loose, but it wouldn't be stressing like that and break. Because these shoulders are ridiculously tight. Like, I don't like how tight these shoulders are. Same thing with the joint here for making the arm go in and out. That's also really, really tight, and it makes me not like posing this guy because I'm scared he's gonna break. But you can move these little panels right here. They have to move in order to accommodate the arm moving out. The arm can only go that far out, which is definitely not as good as the previous guys, but that's just because the design of everything makes him a little bit more limited than them. And that's just due to the nature of the design of this guy. If you do want to get the bicep rotation, you do have to move that piece or it'll get caught and you'll snap it off. So he does have the bicep rotation. He does have, of course, the full double jointed elbow bend, so that's very, very good. And just like the other Burning Gundams, the hand is on a ball joint, and most of the hands, except for the item holding hands and the effect part hands, they all have that second hinge right there, so you can hinge the hand in and out, which is very useful for getting poses to when you want the fist to be nice and curled up, getting ready to either uppercut or just clenching the fist and stuff like that, so they're not just stuck at those specific angles. You can curl them inwards, which is really, really cool and really, really expressive. So bringing the arms out, He does have that double ball jointed waist system that goes on right here, which is very, very good. You can get some insane amounts of articulation going on without popping it off. Make him arch his back. He can get super good ab crunch. He can get some really nice side to side. It's really cool. And of course, he does have the full 360-degree rotation there. The front skirt here was a bit weird to put together. I didn't really like putting this part right here together just because it felt like it wasn't supposed to go together. But I eventually did get it. And the hip skirts aren't attached to the actual side. They're attached to his thigh on this this ball joint and hinge system, which is a great idea because that means that his leg's gonna fall off apparently. That means that you won't have to worry about this thing getting in the way posing because it can shift out and down out of the way, so he can still kick his leg pretty much fully out to the side. Whereas if this was attached there, he could probably only move his leg about that far out. So great improvement, and you just have to move that thing out of the way. You can even get more articulation with that if you rotate it to the side. You can get a little bit more. You just kind of have to fiddle with it and make it work with you, and you can get it to work because it is on a ball joint, so you shouldn't have any problems there. So bringing that thing back up. Leg movement going forward is pretty good. Definitely not the best, and that's just because of this front skirt right here. It can only go that far out, and then it goes back in. So not really much that it can do, but that's just the way that it works. The back skirt does move, which is pretty rare for high grades to do. You can move the leg about that far backwards, about as far forward as it goes backwards, so that's really good. The knee bend does have the full knee bend, just like the other guys, because same joints, so it's going to have pretty much the same articulation. It's just the design that's limiting it. It's not the actual mobile suit itself, or it is a mobile suit itself, it's not the design, is what it should say. Why does this keep falling out? His waist does like to fall off quite a bit, and that's just probably just because I'm pushing up on it, trying to move things around. Let me just get his arms situated again. And then coming down to his ankles, the ankle guard is on a ball joint, and I believe it's connected on the back, or it's connected on the side. I don't remember if it's connected on the side or the back, but it can wiggle a little bit. It can move up and down to shift around the leg. I'll show you the modification I did on the foot. You can see I cut, it's pretty crappy looking, but you're never going to see it. So you can see the polycap there. I scooped all of the side of the polycap out, so that way the ball joint peg right there could feed through there, and also cut the little plastic part right there off. It was just like that on the other side, and I cut that and dug a little trench right there, so that way the ball joint has a place to go for that little armature right there, and it can fit. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can pull off. Yeah, you can see it connects it on the back via ball joint into the upper section. So let me just demonstrate this. You can see right here where the ankle is originally. That would be focus, camera. Focus. 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 You're not going to focus, are you? Hang on. Come on. Focus. Focus. There we go. You can see right here, originally it would just be hitting against that and getting very minimal articulation. But since I cut that versus this, you get that much, which is a vast improvement. Very simple, easy little mod to make. You just cut out the inner part of that, and you're pretty much good to go. You can see how weird that looks without the ankle armor on there. So just bringing the ankle armor back in, just simply bring it up and snap it back into place, and there you go. Pop the foot back on. So you can see he's got amazing articulation. The only limitations are just due to the way the design. Oh, he also has a thigh rotation. It's pretty limited, but it's thigh rotation, and he can move his hips up and down a little bit, which it's a pretty pointless piece of articulation, but it is there. And you can plug a stand right in there between his legs if you have one. Pretty much any typical action figure stand will work with high-grade Gundams, as they all have a very universal port, and now he doesn't want to stand. So we're going to set him off back there. Actually, set him off camera because my camera doesn't want to focus. There it goes. Now we're going to get into his accessories, and he's got quite a bit. Now, if you've ever seen the build burning or the try burning, he comes with all the exact same fire effect pieces that they come with. He comes with the big flame wheel, and it is done in that very gorgeous looking sparkly purplish pink plastic, which he does come with these, and you can put those on his back to give him the flame wheel if you want to do that. He does come with the exact same fire kick effect, and you can crack that open. There is a tab right there that will plug into the back of his foot. I'll show you where exactly in 1 second as soon as I get that closed back up. You can see there there's a slot there on the back of his ankle, and you just plug that in and it makes him look like he's doing a flaming kick done in that same really cool looking plastic. He does come with the fire punch effects. He comes with 2 of them, but I lost one of them. Don't know what happened to it, but the way that this works is you use his little translucent hands. If I can get it to focus. There we go. You can kind of see it. It's just a clear version of the build burning's fist. But it works for him perfectly fine. I mean, it's pretty much the exact same fist as everything else. And it's just got some slots on it, and you just plug it right in to here. We can see there's some little tabs that kind of stick out in the middle in there. And then you plug that on. And same thing with a kick. He comes with these little fire streaming effects. He comes with a short one, a medium one, and a long one. Those can tab into these little holes right there. You can kind of see one if the camera will focus. There it goes. You see one right there, a little hole, and they just tab in with these little tabs right there. And you can make them like streaming fire effects if you want to do that. What else is there? It comes with these little bits right here, which you plug onto his back, and it lets you make the flame wheel curve over his shoulders if you would rather have them do that. A little bit more extra little pieces that he has. This is the torso piece from the build burning and try burning. That's just the leftover from that because he uses a different torso section due to the neck joint and the new shoulders. And then he's just got a backpack adapter, so you can adapt different kinds of backpacks onto him. I don't think it will fit on his current backpack though. They can see more extra little plastic polycaps and stuff and shoulder joints and whatnot. Forgot to actually show off what the back of him looks like. His little backpack right there. Very standard backpack. Attaches the exact same way the Try Burning's backpack does, with the little tab right there, and you just slide it in and slide it down. He does come with the Build Burning's backpack. So if you want to use the Build Burning's backpack, you can. It attaches on the exact same way. You just feed it in, and then you drop it down, and it'll go on just like everything else. And then you can use this adapter right here if you would like to do that. He comes with his own adapter though, which is this little piece right here. If I can find his backpack. He just attach his backpack on, because with the normal backpack connection, it's not compatible with anything. Just because that's just the way that that connection works. This is the only Gundam I know that uses that connection for this backpack specifically, but you can use this piece, and that will plug in right there, and then you can use different kinds of backpacks and adapters and things like that while being able to still use some of the other effect pieces. And speaking of the other effect pieces, I'm gonna pull that bit off, and we're gonna get into his main accessories. Now he is in full burst mode constantly, but we're gonna actually get him in official full burst mode. And to do that, he comes with a bunch of little flame effect pieces. He does have these that plug into his shoulders via tab and slot in there in the shoulder. And I don't know why my camera doesn't want to focus. There we go. Via tab in the shoulder, and right there, and the other one the exact same way. Tabs it into the shoulder, or it falls down to never be seen again. There it is. And that just goes right there, just like that. I don't know why it's not wanting to stay in. It's kind of loose for some reason. You can give me 1 second. And let me see if I can get this to tab in correctly. Nope. Maybe I'm probably doing it on the wrong shoulder. That's probably why it doesn't want to work. Oh, there is actually just no friction there whatsoever. So I will attempt to get it to stay. It probably won't though. So there you go. You have his little burning burst effects. Then he has these little pieces which plug into the gap there in the forearm guard, and that makes it look like you got some pretty cool looking fire effects going on in there, like flames just erupting out of the little exhausts. There you go. And you turn them around, coming to the back, you can see that little peg sticking out of the back of his head, and that is for one of two pieces. You've got this piece right here. Let's see if I can get him to stand, which is a ponytail piece. It's got a hinge or a swivel there, and then it's got the swivel point there, and you can plug that into his head. You give him some nice dynamic looking hair and have that be able to be posed around and things like that. Or you can give him this much larger fanned out piece of hair, which is the hair that he had whenever he first activated the Burning Burst mode in the TV show. So you can see that right there, which I think looks really, really, really cool. Can't really see it from the front all that well. It's pretty hard to see just because the way that the design of it is, but it is there, and it is very, very cool. So just pulling that off. We're gonna go with neither of them because they don't really stay on all that securely. He does actually include weapons. He does have these little blades right here, which do plug into the spot that those little flame effects did. Plug in the exact same way. Way more securely though. You can see he can have little beam blades that come out of there, which are really, really cool looking. I do quite like these little beam blade effects. So plugging that back in, just like so. And the last accessory he comes with are his particle wings. You can see how they look right here. So you can either plug them in with the wings going up like that. You can either do it like this, or you can do it like that, whichever one you prefer. I don't remember which one's actually accurate. I'm pretty sure it's the one with the big parts facing down is the way it's supposed to be. So we're gonna plug those on there real quick. Where's the peg hole? There it is. They just plug in via those little holes on the back, and you can adjust those and move those up and down however you wish. And there you have the Denial Gundam in full burst mode. You can see how that looks right there. And this is its fully powered up form, where it's just exerting all of its stored power to become as powerful as it can possibly be. So that's really, really cool looking. I do love the way that plastic looks. It looks a lot better in person than it does on camera, especially when the camera doesn't want to focus. There it is. So pretty cool. So I definitely do recommend this guy, and he does come with all the exact same fists. The other burning guns. He comes with the holding items, the karate chopping hand, the expressive hand, and the standard gripping fists, and the effect hands. So he does come with all the exact same hands and things like that because he comes with that exact same joint system, which comes with all the hands on it. So, well guys, that is pretty much it for the Denial Gundam. There's really nothing else to really talk about here other than it's just really, really cool, really, really menacing looking. I really, really like the way that this guy looks. If you ever do find one, I would definitely recommend picking it up. It's a really cool, decently priced Gundam kit. I mean, no Gundam kits I know of that are high grades are extremely overpriced, except for very large or exclusive ones, but those are always going to be overpriced no matter where you get them or who you buy them from. So you can see, I would, if you're a fan of evil mobile suits or really cool designs like this that are just menacing overall, you're not really going to find any other Gundam with the design quite like this. Build Fighters is my favorite series for a reason, and that's just because they have such unique designs, and they take different mobile suits and just change them around to whatever kind of liking they prefer. So, well guys, this is the high grade Denial Gundam, and I am Shockwave640, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching, my little Logicons. Peace!